Everyone, how are we today? Just doing a weekly reading. We're doing just a bit of a general check-in for your week, see what's going on. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel if you're not already. I do really appreciate that. It really does help with exposure and whatnot, being that YouTube isn't the biggest fan of Australian creators. So it really does help out each and every like, comment and subscribe. So thank you guys so much. Today I am going to be using the Healing Bones Oracle as well as the Romantic Lenormand. Okay, so getting into it for you, timestamps in the description box as always. Starting off today with Aries. Okay, Aries, checking in on Aries. What's going on for Aries? What does Aries need to know right now? Predominant energy for our Aries, please. We have the brain coming through for you, Aries. Higher consciousness, knowledge, critical nature, thinking clearly, and duality. As we all know, the brain does have the dual sides of the brain. But this is talking about using that brain this week to sort of find clarity, expose yourself to further knowledge, learning more about, a situation or a particular thing that you may be undertaking some training and those sorts of things this week, even if that that training is just within your own self and learning a little bit more about yourself. But we'll have a look and see if it wants to specify what that is in regards to for you, Aries. Checking in on Aries, predominant energy for Aries this week, please. Learning more about your emotions and your intuition, definitely coming through strong here, Aries. At the bottom of the deck in the hidden energy, there is a wish. Okay, we have the stars there. So there is a wish about something from the past by the look of that. A wish that you had, a wish to do with something that you feel has been lost to you. Some knowledge that you are gaining that helps clarify something from your past. We do start off with the moon here coming in there. That does talk about intuition, feeling drawn to something, obviously feeling drawn to a wish for something that you have lost. It's kind of giving me specific, to re-find happiness, to have a new beginning, to restart something here. That kind of energy is all there. But the moon sort of draws us in and wants us to really explore our emotions around that and, trust that we're being drawn to things for a reason. We do have the scythe coming through, followed by the coffin. So, we do see that this is in regards to something that you have, has broken out of your life, something that has ended for you in some kind of way, something that you've lost in the past here. So we are looking backwards in order to look forwards for you this week, Aries. So the scythe really does talk about needing to make sudden changes in order to turn that death into a new beginning, a rebirth. All right, so there is some sort of transformation that can actually happen here. It's just a matter of whether that's within you yourself, and because you're learning more or understanding a situation in a new kind of way because you're examining that and finding some extra clarity because you're thinking about this thing from the past. You're kind of breaking free from something that has held you back. As well, there's this energy of needing to make changes to turn this, from that closed off coffin, that death energy, into a rebirth, a new energy, to transform something and enable a brand new beginning here, to put all that energy that you had lost in the past here, put all that energy into something new, whether that's transforming this same situation or whether that's, where am I going to put all that energy now, putting it into something completely different. That's kind of up to you and what you're feeling most drawn to this week, because, it's going to be a little bit different for everyone in the collective, what that draw is, that magnet that you feel you're being magnetized towards something from your past, and it's probably coming up quite a lot in the things that you're thinking about this week. You're probably thinking about this quite heavily, but there's a reason. It's to gain that extra clarity and gain the knowledge of what you have lost and what you actually wish for when it comes to this subject, and in order to work out, what that transformation needs to be, what changes you need to make in order to have that transformation happen for you this week, Aries. So that's what we have for you. You're more than welcome to check out your other placements, of course. Make sure you do subscribe, and we will move on over to Taurus. Taurus, what's going on for you this week? Predominant energy this week for Taurus, please. The hand energy, Taurus. So giving or receiving support, welcoming or pushing away, firm grasp, holding on, and as well as, fortune. Fortune is in the palm of your hand. You can read your fortune in the palm of your hand. But I feel like for a lot of you, this is very hands-on energy this week. You must be taking over from the Capricorns from last week. Doing something with your hands, getting involved in things, whether that's in a more metaphysical way where you're offering support, or you're putting your hand up to help somebody, that kind of thing, or whether you're actually just getting really physical and doing something with your hands, creating, those sorts of things. Building, creating is coming through. Taurus, what's going on for Taurus this week, please? Predominant energy for Taurus. Whoa. Throwing things at me, Taurus. This may have to do... I'm going to put those back. I have seen them, but I'm going to put those back for now. Taurus. It may have something to do with, a structure that has collapsed in the past. But so you're rebuilding a foundation of some sort. So for some of you, it's very physical, actually rebuilding a foundation or building a foundation, finding time alone, to build something. It does appear to be like a large kind of structure in your life. We do have the mountain coming through first. So the mountain generally does talk about obstacles and delays. So I feel like it's more so something along the lines of you have delayed doing this, but you're kind of like, oh, I've just got to get in and get it done, because the mountain does talk about hard work and perseverance, being very determined to, finish a project off, or, get around to doing something that you've been meaning to do. Like I said, I am getting this energy of building some sort of structure, or some sort of the foundation for some sort of structure. So for some of you, you're getting your hands quite literally dirty, and you're, because this mountain, I'm seeing like a mountain of concrete, like I'm seeing concrete pouring and things like that. So, or like literally digging up and making a little mountain of dirt, So I'm seeing those sorts of things here. Putting in a bit of hard work, here in Australia, we would call it hard yakka. So I know the rest of you are probably going to be like, what on earth? Us Australians, we do like to say some random stuff sometimes, just roll with it. But it's kind of like we do have the lily here as well. So this is something that, you probably have put off for quite a long time. This is something that is going to, last a very long time in your energy. I'm keep getting this energy of this being something, around the house kind of thing, gardening type stuff, all that sort of thing, where this is something where you're quite literally building something for the long term. So it's like, if I build this now, I've been meaning to get around to this for a long time, but if I get this over and done with and build this, it's going to last a very long time. It's going to be used for a very long time, those sorts of things. It's going to be something that is like solid and not going anywhere. So it does feel very, like I keep getting the same imagery, like a base of a structure, or like a cement base, or something along those lines, like that's it's not going anywhere anytime soon. It's like concrete. Even if this is something a little bit different to how I'm describing this, it's kind of very solid, and it forms the basis of something greater, and it for some of you, it quite literally could be, you know, building a cement base for something, a structure to go on. So I'm getting like home extensions, and someone's building a shed maybe, and things like this. I just keep getting the same imagery over and over again. We do also have the anchor. Okay, so it is important to build it strong, whatever it is that you're building this week, and got your hand in, you know, building this week, and, you know, supporting something. You know, it could be a structure that is providing support for something else, because it really is to help stabilize something, you know, so you may even be doing some sort of, you know, repair work to brickwork or foundations to a home, and those sorts of things as well. It's very supportive energy. It's very, you know, if we do this now, it will be able to weather the storm. So for some of you, it's quite literally, you know, the structure of a house, or a storm cellar, or whatever. We don't really have those here in Australia, but it's something solid, something that's going to, you know, hold everything together, so that if the craziness comes through, you know that you're solid and secure. You know, we have actually a flood warning, so it could be things like, you know, filling up sandbags and putting them around the foundation of a home and things like that. So it's something along those lines. It's not wanting to be very specific, but you know, it does feel very hands-on, and for quite a lot of you, it's got to do with, you know, building some sort of structure. Obviously, if that's not for you, Taurus, you're more than welcome to check your other placements. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel, and we will move on over to our Geminis. Okay, Gemini, what's going on for Gemini this week? What's most predominant in Gemini's energy this week? The Foot energy, Gemini. So some of you are quite literally walking a lot this week, running, you know, doing some sort of running race, those sorts of things. Have a sore foot as well, someone. Walking away, taking steps, being grounded, standing up, journeys, moving, and jumping on in. So feet first this week. You kind of, you know, yeah, you're just walking towards things this week without, you know, kind of worrying about where you're going. You're just sort of going, getting moving, getting started, jumping on in. I do feel a strong need for you to ground yourself this week, and stay very steady on your feet, kind of thing, to not tiptoe around anything this week, to put your whole foot in, not just tiptoes. So I'm sort of picking up that energy there a little bit as well. I am also picking up on somebody with a sore foot. So it's kind of telling me that it's just important for you to make sure you are, you know, exercising that, and you're still walking, even though that foot is sore. You know, make sure you keep walking on it, because it will actually help heal that. So I'm picking up on that as well. Gemini, obviously, you know, within reason and medical guidelines, of course. Gemini, predominant energy for our Geminis this week, please. Firstly, we have the Fox coming through. So the Fox is, you know, doing what you need to do, getting things done. It's you know, very clever, very smart energy, very intelligent. We're seeing a lot of intelligence in this spread. A lot of rigid intelligence, like doing things the right way. Just, you know, not necessarily the right way, but the logical way, which is not always the right way. I'm not going to lie. But the Fox is kind of very focused on doing what you need to do in order to survive. So if you need to just jump into something, you know, feet first, and just start moving, and that's the best way for you to survive in this situation, well, then that's what we need to do. It's looking after oneself first, really, even if it means you have to. It's not twisting your words. It's you know, saying what you need to say in order to get what you need out of a situation. So when we're saying so, it's like you don't necessarily have to say every little part of information, but you need to say the bit that gets you what you want out of the situation. So being very clever about how we're saying what we're saying. That is coming through strongly. Because for some of you here, we're dealing with a very regimented institution or place or person. We have the Tower there. So we also have the masculine, okay? So I feel like this is someone that you're actually dealing with this week, and it's very important for you to really be careful the way that you word things to this person, because they are very structured, very regimented, very letter of the law kind of energy. It's kind of giving boss type energy or father type energy. That they're the boss of everything kind of energy, where, do as I say kind of energy. It is coming through as a little bit, bossy. And the way that you're approaching this person this week, you're needing to, take steps and grounding yourself very solidly within yourself here, but you need to also look out for yourself in this situation. So it's kind of giving me this example of, when you're a child, and I'm just going to use the father example. Your father comes through and says, when you're a teenager, for example, and your father comes through and says, what did you get up to last night? Who were you with? Who were you spending time with? Where did you go? All, giving you the 20 questions, and you're a teenager and you're like, I don't want to get in trouble. So I'm not going to tell the whole truth of what I did and who I was with. I'm going to say, oh yeah, I was with, Susie and Lisa. But you're not going to tell them that, oh, some of the boys were there too, and we didn't really have a sleepover. We actually had an all-night party, but, I'm not going to tell my father that because I don't want to get in trouble. So you're kind of telling the truth, but in a way that you're maybe holding on to a little bit of information, because you're not telling the whole truth. You're not giving too much away, because this person is very structured and very regimented and very a little bit political in some way here as well. So I'm picking up that for some of you, you're holding back details about, oh yeah, and that person is homosexual, for example, that because that this person is very anti, I know that that's a horrible example, but I am picking up on that you're not, there's just certain information that you're leaving out this week, because you're like, yeah, I'm just going to stand up for myself. I'm going to, so it's being careful to not tiptoe around anything, but not put your foot in your mouth kind of thing, and to, just stand tall and strong and just keep moving forward and moving away from the questions that you don't want to answer, and just keep moving forward, taking steps to protect yourself in the situation as well. Okay, so that's what I've got for you, Gemini. So sorry I couldn't be any clearer than that, but that's kind of what's going on this week for you in your energy. You're more than welcome to check your other placements if that doesn't resonate for you personally. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel as well. And we will move on over to Cancer. Okay, Cancer, what's going on for Cancer this week? Cancer, what's predominant in Cancer's energy this week, please? All the nerves, Cancer. That card does say responding, sensitive, wired, coordination, pain, stress, alert, awareness. Okay, so I am getting a message here, health related for some of you, that you need to just sort of stop and become aware of the pain in your body, because there's something going on with your nervous system. It's not your nerves as such, although for someone else it may be, nervousness, but there's something going on with somebody's nervous system, and it's not in a physical health way. It's kind of telling me you know, your nervous system, needing a nervous system reset when it comes to fight or flight kind of energy. That when we're in fight or flight so long in our lives that we become very sensitive to every little thing, and then when all of a sudden our life doesn't ask us to be in fight or flight, we really struggle to reset our nervous system, and we're always kind of on edge, and it makes us feel anxious for no reason, and things like that, and we respond to things in a certain way that we would when we're in that fight or flight mode, but these things may not require that response. So for someone here, if that sort of strikes something within you, there may be a need for you to do some sort of nervous system reset and kind of pull yourself back out of that fight or flight response all the time. So it's very, very difficult when that's been like you've been in situations in the past where you kind of have to be in that fight or flight. It can be very, very difficult to, you know, remove that from your automatic response. But it is coming through here for somebody. But, you know, we do just also see that you are, you know, others of you, there is just some nervousness, something that you're nervous about this week. You maybe doing something that it's like, it's not, because it's not bad nervousness. It's like nervous because it's the unknown. That I'm hoping that this goes one particular way, but I'm nervous that that won't be the outcome. So there's nerves, you know, it's part of that response to, part of your response to the unknown in a few ways. It's very similar to the fight or flight kind of thing. But it's going on here for you this week, Cancer. Let's have a look. Cancer, what's going on for Cancer this week? What's predominant in Cancer's energy this week, please? Pardon? Starting off with the Stork here, Cancer. The Stork is really, you know, coming up with an idea. I do feel like this is just one idea, a new idea, something that you haven't thought of, a way to approach this situation that you haven't thought of, a new perspective on something, that it stirs up something within you. We do see the book coming through next, which, you know, there's that unknown, you know, so we're trying to find a new perspective on the unknown. We're trying to learn more about other perspectives or other ideas of how we could approach the unknown. The book really does talk about, you know, educating oneself, doing your research kind of thing, learning. So it's kind of like learning other ways of approaching this. We do also see the dog coming through, which the dog is usually friends. Someone in your life that is supportive, that is you know, someone that you spend time with, and you know, there's a lot of understanding and compassion and support between yourself and this person, loyalty between you and this person. For some of you though, it's like you're seeing a new perspective, a new idea on loyalty, or what loyalty means, or how you can show loyalty, how you can show your support towards somebody. Whereas for others of you, it's quite literally you're learning this from a person who is your friend and very supportive, and you're getting the idea from them. So it's kind of going slightly different ways here. So for a lot of you, it's, you know, you're learning something quite specifically from this person. But I do feel like it's more majority of you where you are, you know, the idea itself is more to do with loyalty and support, how you can show your loyalty, how you can show your support, and how you know, can find a deeper understanding, learn other ways, learn new ways, learn new perspectives of what understanding and compassion looks like. as you face the unknown. So it feels like, you know, a lot of you have got something this week where you don't know what the outcome is going to be, but it's like you're the one stirring up this movement here. But it seems to be important for you to, you know, make sure you are taking on board other ideas on how to broach this in your future here. Because the book energy, it may, you know, the unknown element, it may, this week, it's kind of like this week is the planning week. And then maybe next week we might start to take actions from that. But this week really is the thinking it out, the planning kind of week, the coming up with ideas on what I'm going to do with this situation. So this is kind of the planning week for you here, Cancer. But that's what we've got for you. You're more than welcome to check out your other placements, of course. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and we will move on to Leo. Okay, Leo, what's going on for Leo this week? Predominant energy for Leo. Ooh, the hair, Leo. It's definitely a strong Leo energy already with, you know, those beautiful manes of the Leo lions. Personal power, identity, physical strength, bold action, sexuality, and the wild side. So walking on the wild side a little bit this week, you know, really empowering yourself. I feel like for a lot of you, this may have a lot to do with sexuality and sex. And your identity within that side of yourself. But we'll clarify here for you. Leo, what's going on for Leo this week? What's predominant in Leo's energy this week, please? The hidden energy, the hidden desire at the bottom here, we have the sun and then the ring. So there is, you know, happy relationships. You know, this is, it's kind of in pursuit of making sure your relationships are happy. And, you know, I still am feeling a very strong sex vibe coming through for you this week. So it's kind of like, how can I make my sexual partner happy? How can they make me happy? What truly makes me happy? I feel like it's a bit more to do with you, Leo, with this fox coming through first. And the fox does what it needs to do to get what it wants out of a situation. It, you know, I'm getting some sexual energy, definitely, because we have the tower coming through next, and it's telling me it rises the tower. The fox, you know, it makes the tower rise. So I know it's being very sexual in nature here. So it's kind of, yeah, doing what you need to do, to saying what you need to say to get that tower rising. It also does talk with the tower and the fox. It does actually talk a little bit here about maybe exploring that side of yourself on your own as well. The tower can talk about isolation, but it's really more than anything, it's setting a strong foundation, you know, doing what you need to do, saying what you need to say, being very clever about how things are going with this in order to set a strong foundation of, you know, oh, I really like that, keep doing, you know, that, to make that a foundational move kind of thing, so that continues to occur. This particular fox, we have the mask in this particular energy here. It's not so much wearing a mask. It's not hiding. It's something that maybe you have removed the mask, that you have hidden from yourself, that I actually like this. And, you know, so for some of you, it's like revealing a little bit more about what you want in the bedroom. And for others of you, it's like kind of bartering. I'm getting bartering situation coming through as well, that you're negotiating and bartering, that if I give you this, you'll give me this, and, you know, that kind of thing coming through a little bit here. But it's all about the stars, right? We all have our desires that we want to get met. We have hopes and dreams, and, you know, for some of you, it's kind of actually living out the dream scenario. I keep getting sexuality stuff. So, that's what I've got for you guys this week, Leo, that, we're wanting to achieve some certain goals or desires that we want met, basically, more than anything. So it's something, maybe you're revealing a side of yourself that you didn't even know you had. There you go. That's what we have for you today, Leo. You're more than welcome to check out your other placements if you want something other than just sex, because that's the first sex stuff we've had today, that's for sure. But please subscribe to the channel as well, and we will move on over to our Virgos. Okay, Virgo, what's going on for Virgo this week? Predominant energy for our Virgos. Oh, we have the eye coming through for you, Virgo. Focus, clarity, prophecies, awareness, good luck, vigilance, and intuitive insights. So you're able to see beyond, read between the lines, see a little bit deeper into things this week, Virgo. You're able to, see the truth of maybe it's even behind what someone is saying. I feel. I do feel it's like a truth that you're seeing. You're becoming very clear about what someone means, but it's not necessarily visible. You're picking it up intuitively, and you're very vigilant about all the little signs and the little, body language someone is portraying, and it's enabling you to really find that clarity and see beyond just their words to the truth of what they're actually intending. Virgo, what's going on for Virgo this week? Predominant energy for Virgo this week, please. Starting off with your card, Virgo. Definitely seeing a lot of intuitive energy for you. Spiritual kind of energy a little bit there as well. We do have the tree coming through first. Growth, healing, maturity, looking after yourself. So finding clarity on maybe how far you have come, how much someone has. It's actually weird. It's kind of telling me, it's kind of showing you the clarity that the seeing beyond what someone is saying. You're kind of seeing that someone maybe hasn't actually grown or matured as much as they say they have. They maybe haven't healed as much as they think that they have. And that's your wisdom is shining. Your maturity is shining. It's kind of like you're seeing through somebody else a little bit. We have the mountain coming through next. So with the mountain, we do see obstacles, delays, hard work needing to be put in, perseverance, determination. So it's kind of giving me that you're seeing the truth of the matter, that someone's telling you that they've put in a lot of hard work, or that there's been certain things stopping them from, this has been stopping me from doing that. This, I haven't been able, I've been delayed from being able to do this. And I've been doing as much as I can. I've been trying as hard as I can. And you're kind of seeing through that and going, well, no, you haven't. Because that obstacle that you're telling me is an obstacle. It's not really an obstacle. You just haven't put the work in to climb over it. You're seeing through this person. We have the moon as well, Virgo. So, your intuition and it's kind of telling me that, somebody's emotions may be part of the blockage, the obstacle that they've been creating around themselves. But you're seeing through it. You're able to intuitively just know what the truth of the matter is this week. And I feel like you're kind of calling someone out. Even if you're not verbally calling someone out, you're calling them out within yourself, and you're going, hang on, but this and this and this, they haven't actually put in as much work as they say they have. That they haven't been you know, because I'm just like, my intuition is telling me that you're not being 100% trying as hard as you could, kind of thing. It may be just one of those things, Virgo, where, you know, you are known to be a hard worker. You are known to be someone that is quite, you know, stubborn and persistent, who will overcome obstacles that are put in your path. And this person is not up to your same level when it comes to that. They're not a hard worker the way that you are. They're not as, what's the word? It's trying to tell me a word that's persistent. They're not as persistent as you are. And you're seeing through the BS. You're seeing through them telling you that they've been persistent, and you're like, well, obviously not, because otherwise it would be done. It would be sorted. So there is some sort of delay or obstacle that you're kind of looking at, that like, that shouldn't be a delay or an obstacle. Someone's telling me that all these things happen, that, you know, they tried as hard as they could, but you're seeing through that going, did you really? You know, like, I don't think you did. Like, if I was doing that, it would be sorted. You're kind of seeing through the BS a little bit this week. And your intuition is just telling you, well, this person's just not up to Virgo levels of persistence and hard work. So maybe you need to talk to this person about expectations a little bit there. I am picking up on that as well. There might be the need to place stronger boundaries on this situation, and let them know what the expectation is. That the expectation is that they have to be Virgo level, even if they're not a Virgo. So that's what we've got. Because it feels like you're kind of like, this person's letting you down. You're like, it's not that you're necessarily the boss of this person. It's just that your expectations need to be set as the guideline for whatever that situation is. Okay, Virgo, so that's what we've got for you. You're more than welcome to check out your other placements, of course. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel, and we will move on over to Libra. Okay, Libra, what's going on for Libra this week? Libra, predominant energy for Libra. Ooh, digestion. Processing, absorbing, purify, elimination, complex, intricate, regeneration. It's not really telling me much about what this means for you here, Libra. It's telling me it's like, it's part of the process. It's a process. It's a process. Something needs to be processed. You need to understand that this is just, you know, because it's kind of showing me something like all the way up here, and you're needing to process this the whole way through before it's a thing, before it's whatever. But we'll have before it's digested, I suppose, since that's digestion we're looking at. Libra. So I'm picking up that for someone here, it's like something needs to be processed, and like you maybe needing to give yourself some time to process some information before you actually can digest the full extent, the full truth of that, what that means for you. Libra, what's going on for Libra this week? Predominant energy for Libra. Yeah, so whatever it is that you're processing, it's an opportunity that you're being given, or even multiple opportunities that you're being given here. We have the key coming through first. So it does look like that you may have options available to you, but you're needing to research those different options. You're needing to talk it out. Okay, we have the book followed by the birds there as well. So it's kind of like there's all these options around you, and you need to actually process and research each option so that you can process and you know, sift through, digest, you know, let it go down through the layers. You know, you're processing. You're learning a bit more information here. You're learning a bit more information there. You're processing before you actually make a decision. So it's kind of telling us that, you know, there is a need to, you know, maybe research these options, educate yourself a little bit more about what those options are, and in order to do so, for some of you, it involves talking to others, you know, listening to gossip and chit chat about those things. So it's kind of like one of the options might, you know, for example, if this is a work thing, right? You may be given 3 offers. Where do you want to go, here, there, or somewhere else? And in your process of researching these things, part of what you're needing to take into account is to, you know, ask people in those fields, what, you know, give me the goss on this field. What's the good and bad about this field? You know, you're needing to listen to that chitter chatter and take that as part of your research as well. Other people's opinions and you know, just the gossip too, the gossip and the rumor about, oh, that position's only available because XYZ happened, and you know, and you find out, oh, that position's available because someone to work for there is horrible and no one wants to work for them. So maybe that's not the best option. You know, those sorts of things is what's coming through here. I'm also, it does seem important here as well, Libra, that all 3 of those cards I have drawn, and this doesn't actually happen very often because, as we know, you know, well, you may not know, the lenormand originally started off on playing cards, you know, symbols drawn on playing cards and used, you know, in bars and things like that. So we have the suits at the top. We have 3 diamonds. So for a lot of you, there's 3 different options you are picking from. And that was what, you know, I sort of said before, the 3. And it's kind of like looking for the diamond in the rough. Diamonds are your best friend at the moment. Something about diamonds. There may be diamonds in the logo or in the name, or someone even says the word diamond in association with that one option. And that's how you kind of, you know, that may be, you know, a better option than the others. Diamonds are significant this week somehow as a symbol, you know, symbolism to you, that's that direction I want to go in. Diamonds are somehow important. Okay, so that's what we've got for you this week. Libra, you're more than welcome to check your other placements, of course. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel, and we will move on over to Scorpio. All right, moving on to Scorpio. Scorpio, what's going on for Scorpio this week? Predominant energy for Scorpio. Oh, the heart space, Scorpio. Heart energy, love, vitality, courage, strength, your core, your center, emotions, and passion. So something getting stirred deep down in there this week, Scorpio. So that seems to be the focus of the week's energy for you at least. But let's have a look at what's going on with that. Scorpio. Scorpio, what's going on for Scorpio this week? The predominant energy for Scorpio this week. Interesting, Scorpio. Commitment on the way, a relationship on the way. We have the ring followed by the rider. The rider is generally good news on the way, quite literally good news on the way in regards to some sort of contract, commitment, relationship. Could be a cycle repeating itself for some of you there as well, but it does feel more along the lines of, you know, a contract, a heart contract. So I would dare say that has got to do with your, you know, something that you have a lot of emotion towards. It definitely still could be, you know, non-love related, you know, although I do feel that for a lot of you this is, you know, love related, but it could, you know, if you if your biggest love in your life is your work or something that you're doing, a hobby, there's some good news on the way in regards to a contract or a commitment that you're making in that regard. But for everybody else, this is quite clearly a relationship on the way, a commitment on the way. So even if you are already in a committed relationship, this could be, some extra layer, an extra contract between the two of you, an extra commitment between the two of you. So like, if you're already in a committed relationship, maybe this is just, making a commitment to each other to do XYZ once a week, or, to express it more to each other, or, to actually communicate that more to each other, and those sorts of things. It may be, making a commitment between the two of you that we're going to do this next thing together, that we're going to, involve ourselves in some higher level of commitment, or an extra contract on that. So, like could be, moving in together, or, buying a home together, or, actually getting married, an actual proposal definitely could be on the way for some of you this week. We do see the feminine energy there as well. So I do feel as though this is going to stir up and nurture some emotional side of yourself. We do see a lot of emotion, and, having the strength to face those emotions this week. So you may be the one proposing this week as well. You may be the one offering, or for some of you, it could even just be that this is predominant in your energy this week because you're thinking about this a lot more, and that you're wanting this, and it's just centering within you. You're wanting to nurture that energy of being commitment ready, or whatever that may mean in your personal situation. The feminine really does nurture and protect the emotional side. It really expresses its emotions, and has emotion. Okay, so it's really about discovering the emotions that you do have, and allowing that commitment to rise those up within you, and explore your love and your passion a little bit more within yourself. Okay, Scorpio, so that's what we have for you. Relatively straightforward. You're more than welcome to check your other placements, of course, and we will move on over to Sagittarius. So don't forget to subscribe as well if you're not already. Okay. Sagittarius, what's going on for Sagittarius this week? What's predominant in Sagittarius energy this week? We have your back coming through, the back, and the cute little butt. Those little butt muscles working away there, holding this beautiful spine and shoulder system up. You're supporting yourself very strongly this week, Sagittarius. Responsibility, support, security issues, tensions, feeling weighed down, and then secrets. Okay, things behind you that you can't see. So for some of you, there is some. You're needing some extra support because you're feeling a little bit weighed down by not having enough support, by feeling that you don't have, someone doesn't have your back. For some of you here, that you are the one responsible for having your own back. Interesting. That's what's coming through with that. Sagittarius, what's going on for Sagittarius this week? What's predominant for Sagittarius energy this week, please? Definitely feeling like you have to do everything all by yourself. You're very independent. You support you. That you have to do whatever you need to do in order to survive. We have the fox coming through here. So the fox is definitely, all about survival, all about its own survival, and you supporting yourself to, do whatever you need to do, say what you need to say to make sure that you are going to survive and that you are getting what you need. It's kind of this energy of, if I don't do it, it's never going to get done right. I'm the only one that can do this properly, that kind of thing. So, I am picking up a little bit of an energy here, Sagittarius, that you're kind of feeling unsupported, yet you're kind of also still saying, but I'm the only one that can do that. So you're kind of pushing away help and support, but then kind of going, oh, well, I want support. So it is a little bit of that coming through. We do have the garden in the middle here. All right, so there is the need to compromise. There is the need to meet another party halfway, to, you know, go out and spend more time in public, be a little bit more sociable, to actually ask for help, to feel as though you can, you know, be a little bit more open about what you do need, how you need that support. So that I am feeling a bit weighed down right now. You know, can you meet me halfway, that kind of thing, that you're maybe needing to, once again, meet somebody else halfway as well, because if you're sort of saying, I need your support, so you're, you know, they're coming halfway by giving you support, you need to come down halfway a little bit as well to accept that support, and understand that, you know, somebody else's 100% may only be your 80%. You know, I do feel as though you may have higher expectations of what that support entails than what the other person may. So there is the need to compromise a little bit, that understand that maybe somebody is already giving you 100%, and you're just needing to sort of lower your standards a little bit when it comes to the way that other people do things, and the way that other people offer support and things like that. So just be aware of that. It's, you know, I would never sort of say lower yourself to somebody else's standards, but if your standards are unreasonably high, it may need to be taken into consideration that compromise is more important than your impossibly high standard. Okay, so sorry to be a bit harsh about that, but we do also see the moon coming through. So for quite a lot of you, this has got to do with, you know, emotional support, because your emotions are just a bit of a high wire at the moment. I feel for a lot of you, you're needing to, once again, it's giving me that you know, the compromising, that somebody may not feel emotions the same way that you feel emotions, that you need to, you know, trust your intuition a little bit more with certain things here, but you also need to, you know, go with the flow a little bit, because the moon energy is very, you know, the moon controls the tides. So quite often I get the tidal flow coming through, that, you know, sometimes somebody's 100% is, you know, the tide is in, and it feels like 100%, but then sometimes somebody's energy is a little bit lower and they're 100%. It just cannot be the same. So, you know, you're needing to sort of roll with the tides a little bit here, and that understand that sometimes some people can give you 100%, but other times they can only give you 50%, you know, so you're needing to compromise a little bit more with some, I feel like it's got to do with somebody around you here that you're just not really feeling supported from, or you're needing to ask for support and just needing to actually compromise with this person about what that support needs to look like in your life this week, okay? So that's what we've got for you. You're more than welcome to check out your other placements, of course. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel, and we'll move on to Capricorn. Capricorn, what's going on for Capricorn this week? Capricorn, predominant energy for our Capricorns this week. Ooh, the toes. I'm hearing the little this little piggy song, so that may be relevant somehow to someone. Balance, stability, progress, sensitivity, connection, vulnerability, and the details. So the small little things that connect our foot. We're looking at the little small little details this week for you, Capricorn, rather than looking at the whole foot. We're needing to sort of, it's kind of giving me this tiptoe kind of energy. We're needing to just dip our toes in, not the whole foot, just our toes. So that'd be why there's a vulnerability here, that we're needing to make progress, but just little tippy toe steps. Okay, that but I'm also seeing, I'm seeing a few things here, Capricorn. I've got like a ballet, like a ballerina up on tippy toes as well. So, you know, remembering how important your toes are to the entire integrity of everything, that even the smallest little thing can actually provide balance and support to everything. So that's why we're really needing to focus on the little details this week, because if your toes aren't strong enough, you're never going to be able to get on point. So it's telling me just move on. Okay, Capricorn. It's kind of funny. The spirit's been very funny today with the way things are coming through. Very bit bossy today, not gonna lie. Okay, Capricorn. What's going on for Capricorn this week? Predominant energy for Capricorn. We have the crossroads coming through first, Capricorn. A choice or a decision that you're making. It does seem to be quite clearly about one topic. We have the dog followed by the coffin. Okay, so this is needing to make a decision about a friendship that has ended, or needing to end a friendship, making a decision about ending a friendship. Okay, the coffin asks for a death so that there can be a rebirth. I feel like it's kind of like, for some of you, this is a friendship that has already ended. You've lost loyalties with somebody, because the dog is, compassion, understanding, loyalty. It feels as though, for some of you, this has already ended and you're needing to make a decision on the rebirth energy. Whereas for others of you, you're needing to make the initial decision yet. But it's specifically to do with a friendship that has ended or is ending. So, I'm sure you'll know which side of that you resonate with. And it may not have been that the actual thing has ended. It may, because it does feel like we're kind of in this little grey area, the little in between. I feel like it's ended within you, but you may not have actually ended it in the real world as of yet. So it's kind of like you're needing to maybe make a decision on how or when, or, deciding, because I'm kind of picking up here too that for some of you that is the end. There's no need to, it's just deciding how we're going to move forward from that. Like, are you going to tell this person that you're ending this friendship, or are you going to just ignore them and ghost them? Are you and knowing Capricorn energy, when something doesn't work for us anymore, we are pretty good to cut it out and just move on. But you're kind of, you're just dipping your toes in here. There is a vulnerability associated with this, because, you're still wanting that balance. You're not wanting to off balance yourself by doing something without thinking it through clearly, and thinking through repercussions or impacts upon other friendships, and, all those sorts of things that do kind of come into play with that. But yeah, it's kind of pretty clear, Capricorn, that you've already kind of come to a decision within yourself, and it's just a matter of, deciding, where does this leave me? How do I actually enact this? So I feel as though that's what the dipping your toes energy is about. It's like kind of thinking it through, and making small steps to disconnect, so that you can maintain balance within yourself and your other friendships, while still allowing this to end. Pardon me. Sorry, I haven't been able to get rid of this cough, Capricorn. I am seeing red as somehow important here. This person may have red hair, or last time you saw them, they may have been wearing red, or there may be some connection to red. I don't know why it's coming up with that, but it's just telling me red is somehow connected to this situation. Like maybe you saw red about something that happened or was said. But it does. It feels like you've already made up your mind, Capricorn, to be honest. You've kind of already made up your mind here that this is over and done with. And maybe the decision is, well, now that that's over and done with, where do I put my energy now? Where do I, what do I do from here? What's the rebirth from after this look like? Do I need to do something about this, or do I need to, allow it to just sort of fade off into the sunset kind of thing? That's all it wants to tell me, Capricorn. So we'll end that there. But you're more than welcome to check out your other placements and see if that gives you any extra insight into what's going on for you this week. But leave me a comment and let me know if you know what that situation is about for you yourself. Like I said, check your other placements if you like. You're more than welcome to do so, and we will ask you to subscribe, and we will move on over to Aquarius. Okay, Aquarius, what's going on for Aquarius? Predominant energy for Aquarius this week. Okay, Aquarius. We have the spine. Alignment, evolution, spirituality, self-discovery, confidence, and rigid energy. I can't say that word, so we're just going to say rigid energy. Coming into alignment with oneself, learning more about what alignment is for you and what you feel, what you feel in your life is aligned with you and what is not. Kind of like bucking off certain weights on your shoulders that are just that's not actually in line with what I want for myself. So I need to buck that responsibility. I need to, remove the dead weight. I'm kind of hearing, having the confidence to do so and standing very rigid and strong within your own self to know that you deserve better than being weighed down by that. So we'll have a look here and clarify that a little bit more for you. Aquarius, what's going on for Aquarius this week? Dominant energy for Aquarius this week. So we firstly start with the owls coming through here. So the owls are very wise, so you're discovering this ancient wisdom within you kind of thing. But there is also some concerns and some worries in the distance when it comes to the owls, especially with the lily following that up, because the lily is a very long-term energy. So it's kind of like you're worried, the worries are very distant. It's like worrying about what this is going to mean in the long term, that worrying about what this is going to eventuate into in 10 years, in 20 years. If I remove this from my life now, what is that going to mean for me, in the long-term future? And also, what it's going to mean for me. I actually feel like for a lot of you, it's kind of this concerns for the distance is more so about if I continue to hold this weight. And that's where you're starting to, you're wising up to a weight that is on your shoulders, to a burden that is being put on you, a responsibility that is being put on you. You're kind of wising up to sort of realize that if I keep doing this, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, I'm showing that this is, it's going to just keep on going and getting more added on top of more and top of more. And it's not feasible in the long term for me to continue this way. It's time that I stand strong and confident and come into alignment with what does and does not need to be in my life on my shoulders. I feel like for a lot of you, this has got to do with a responsibility that that's being pushed onto you, and you've just been sort of taking it and taking it and taking it. And you're realizing that no, the more that you do this for someone, or the more that you put up with this from someone, and knowing that it's not in actual alignment with what's good for you, you're kind of realizing that in the long term that this is not sustainable. We also have the fox here, which kind of supports that message just in itself, because the fox is very independent, very, does what it needs to do for its own self and its own survival. You're not worried about what's best for everybody else in the situation. You're worried about yourself and how do I do what's best for me? How do I only, invite in what is in alignment with me? Pardon me, Aquarius. You're doing what needs to be done for you, saying what needs to be said for yourself, not worrying so much about what everyone else wants and needs and expects of you. You do what needs to be done for you. Being very smart, very wise, smart about it. Even if other people may see it as, I do feel as though there is a background concern, a background worry that someone's going to be very cranky at you, which I'm not saying that they're not, but at the end of the day, this is not in alignment with who you are, and it's not in alignment with what is best for you. And I feel like ultimately that it's a responsibility that is being thrust upon you. It's not necessarily a responsibility or a duty that you actually have. You're kind of taking it on for someone else, kind of energy. So, keep that in mind, Aquarius. So this week is really the week to wise up a little bit to that and make sure we are only acting in our own interests and our own highest good when it comes to this situation. Okay, so that's what we have for you. You're more than welcome to check out your other placements. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel, and we will move on to Pisces. Pisces, what's going on for Pisces this week? Predominant energy for our Pisces this week, please. I feel like I'm going to see my first double up for you, Pisces. I've managed to get completely unique cards for each and every sign so far. Predominant energy for Pisces. I do feel like yours is connected to something else here. What do we got? The stomach. So no, it's actually another unique card, but it is connected to the digestive issues one we spoke about. Who had that? I can't remember what sign had digestive issues. Libra, possibly. I believe it was Libra. So some of you may have strong Libra energy, or you're connected to a Libra that it's somehow connected to this message for this week. Strong Libra energy connection here. Because it's like, we had digestion and now we're seeing stomach. And as we know, they're both very, very linked up. That, things go to the stomach to digest. So maybe you're helping somebody out with something this week. The keywords on this card: assimilation, breakdown, gut feeling, desire, satisfaction, powerhouse, and fulfilling. It's like you're taking something on board. Yeah, like it definitely does feel like you're taking something on board that is not 100% your own. You're fulfilling a joint desire, a joint responsibility, or you're assimilating somebody else's thing into your own experience here. So we'll see what that's about. Okay, Pisces, what's going on for Pisces this week? Pisces, predominant energy for our Pisces this week. So yeah, we definitely do see some sort of burden or responsibility that you're taking on board with the cross here. The cross, it's coming through as duty, responsibility this week. There is a sense of destiny and fate with the cross, or like for some of you it may actually be like religious duties, that kind of thing. Like not necessarily religious though, but it's like there's something where you feel as though you have a responsibility to do something or be something, or because of your morals. It feels more like morals, a duty to your own morals that you're feeling as though you have to take the weight on from someone else or something else, like a joint thing, or you're helping someone, you're helping support someone, and it's kind of your moral. You feel like it's your moral obligation to do so. Possibly because you are very spiritually connected to this person, to this thing. You feel as though this person is part of your, your destiny. It's your fate to have your future linked with them. That kind of energy. We do have the mountain coming through here. So it's kind of like this is a lot of hard work, a lot of persistence, a lot of determination on your end to overcome this issue or help somebody overcome something. That's all it's telling. Sometimes the mountain can talk about, specifically obstacles or blockages, but it just keeps telling me it's about overcoming. It's about overcoming. It's about the climb. It's not about the mountain itself. It's about the climb over this mountain. It's like you're helping someone. It's like you're the Sherpa helping someone climb a mountain. It's like, but, you've got to put in just as much hard work and perseverance and persistence to get to the top of the mountain as well. But somehow you seem to be more adept at doing so than this other person. It's kind of like you're reaching out a hand to help somebody climb. It's like you may have done this before and you've gone through this before. So you're like a guide. You're like helping somebody. You feel some sort of moral duty to do so. Because of this, we have the clover. Like you feel like this is worth taking a chance on. It's worth investing the time and the effort to help this person climb. You're sort of jumping in both feet in to help here. That there's this fulfilling thing that by jumping in the deep end with this person and helping them out, it fulfills you in some way. It helps you assimilate with this person and you have a desire to help them. That's as much as it's telling me. Can I get some more clarity on the clover, please, Pisces? We have the Tower here. So for some of you, it may have to do with like the foundation of something, that this is why you're feeling bound to taking this chance, because this is to help create a foundation that's lasting. This is, you feel as though this person is part of your foundation, and you're kind of, there's maybe a part of you saying to yourself that, they would do it for me, I would do it for them, they would do it for me. For some of you, this is somebody that is connected to you from your childhood, somebody older than you from your childhood, something from your foundation, your core in this world. So for some of you, this is a parent, like a parental figure, or a childhood friend that you feel a duty to help, a moral obligation to help this person, or they're just from your own core. You do, there is a strong connection to this person one way or another. You feel as though, there's this energy of like they've provided structure for you, so you need to provide structure for them, kind of thing. Yeah, very likely family or connected to making a family for you. We see conversations, we see safety, security, home. This person feels like part of your family, your home. And then it's like we see the stars, the true desires, having optimism and hope that you know, there's a destined goal in mind here. But we do see conversations happening as well. So that for some of you, that's all this is. It's putting in the hard work to have a deep and meaningful conversation, or provide an ear, a shoulder to cry on for this person. But it is still your feeling like it's a moral obligation to do so. Yeah. So that's what we've got for you today, Pisces. You're more than welcome to check out your other placements, of course. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all again soon.